An open-source AI tool just hit 9 million users, and it didn't get the hype that ChatGPT did. Meet Ollama, a little-known platform that's quietly become one of the most important pieces of infrastructure in the AI developer world. Just this week, it raised $65 million in funding, and here's the kicker: it's not backed by a trillion-dollar big tech company. It's built by a small team who wanted to solve a genuinely painful problem, making it dead simple to run powerful AI models on your own computer. No cloud required, no monthly subscriptions. Think of it like this: for years, building with AI meant renting processing power from OpenAI or Google or Amazon. You'd submit your text, they'd run the model, you'd get the answer back, and you'd get charged for every single request. Ollama flipped the script. It lets developers download AI models straight onto their own machine, a laptop, a workstation, a home server, and run them locally. No internet dependency, no vendor lock-in, just you and a state-of-the-art language model running on your own hardware. And somehow, in just a couple of years, 9 million developers found this and thought, yes, this is exactly what I need. That's extraordinary. That's the kind of growth that reshapes how an entire industry builds. And here's where it gets interesting. This funding round is about to accelerate something that was already moving fast. So what exactly is Ollama, and why did it become such a big deal? If you're not a developer, the concept is pretty straightforward. Most of the AI tools you know, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these are cloud services. You type something into a web interface, the text gets sent over the internet to a massive data center, a powerful computer processes it, and the answer comes back to you. You're renting the computing power. Ollama does something completely different. Software you install on your own computer. Once installed, you can download pre-trained AI models. We are talking large language models, the same kind of technology that powers ChatGPT, and run them entirely on your own machine. No network request, no subscription, no privacy concerns about your data being sent somewhere. It just runs locally. But here's the thing: this sounds simple, but getting it to work is genuinely hard. These models are massive, complex pieces of software. Getting them to run smoothly on different hardware with different performance characteristics across Windows, Mac, and Linux. That's a lot of engineering. That's where the Ollama team comes in. They've built the infrastructure that makes it dead easy. You run one command, it handles all the complexity under the hood, and suddenly you've got a powerful AI model running on your laptop. 2 years ago, this wasn't really a thing. Today, 9 million people are doing it. That's the transformation. This week's funding announcement is the $65 million round led by major venture capital firms, and it validates something brewing for years. The open-source AI movement is real. Ollama proved the demand is massive. Here's what makes this interesting. Ollama didn't chase the typical venture path of becoming a paid cloud service. They stayed true to open source. The software is free, the models download at no cost, and the team's building this without a subscription model. That's unusual in a world where startups pivot to charging the moment they get traction. Ollama said no. Instead, they're using the capital to expand the team and accelerate development worldwide. They want to make it faster and more accessible. The 9 million users tells you something crucial. This isn't niche anymore. This is mainstream developer infrastructure. When you've got 9 million users on an open-source project, you're reshaping how people work. Think about Docker, the containerization tool that revolutionized software deployment. Not because Google or Amazon owned it, but because it was open, free, and solved a real problem better than anything else. Ollama's on that same trajectory. This funding, it's the market saying, yes, we believe in this vision, and that belief is about to accelerate everything. So who's using Ollama, and what are they doing with it? Real-world use cases are diverse and growing rapidly. Researchers run experiments locally instead of burning through cloud credits. A data scientist spins up a language model on their workstation, tests a hypothesis, iterates, and pays nothing beyond their hardware. That's revolutionary for academic work with tight budgets. Individual developers building side projects, chatbots, local assistants. Experimental AI features ship without touching an API or needing a credit card. You've got ChatGPT-level technology without vendor lock-in. Companies building internal tools love Ollama too. Privacy-conscious organizations run models entirely inside their network. Data never leaves the building. That's huge for finance, healthcare, and government, where privacy is non-negotiable. Small AI startups bootstrap with Ollama because it lowers the entry barrier. You don't need millions in funding for inference costs. You prototype on your laptop and scale later. Some of today's most innovative AI tools started as Ollama experiments. Game developers use Ollama to power in-game AI, NPCs with smarter dialogue, dynamic storytelling that adapts to player choices. Things impossible without renting GPU compute are now possible on consumer hardware. That's the unlock. Not everyone builds the next ChatGPT, but everyone can build something intelligent. And that's where the real value lies. How does Ollama compare to cloud-based AI? The answer comes down to three things: cost, privacy, and control. On cost, cloud APIs like OpenAI's or Anthropic's bill you per request. You pay every time you call the API. If you're building something needing to run a model 1,000 times, costs spiral fast. With Ollama, you pay once for hardware, a laptop, a server, whatever you've got, then run models infinitely with zero additional charge. For developers iterating rapidly, the math is completely different. Privacy-wise, Ollama wins decisively. Your data stays on your machine. Cloud APIs require sending your data to someone else's servers. That's a deal-breaker for companies handling sensitive information. Ollama keeps everything in-house. But here's the trade-off. Cloud APIs give you bleeding-edge models the second they release. OpenAI ships GPT-4o, you get it instantly. With Ollama, you run models optimized for local hardware, which usually means slightly older or less capable versions. That's the real choice: ultimate cutting-edge capability versus ownership and privacy. For most developers building real products, Ollama's the clear winner. Cost savings and control are massive, but if you need the absolute latest AI capability and you'll pay for it, cloud APIs still have a place. Here's what's happening though: that gap is shrinking fast. Ollama's locally run models keep improving, and soon there won't be much advantage to renting anymore. What does Ollama's momentum mean for AI in 2026 and beyond? This is where it gets complicated. For years, big tech controlled the AI conversation. You needed access to OpenAI's, Google's, or Anthropic's servers. Those companies wrote the narrative and decided who got access. But Ollama fundamentally changes power. If developers run state-of-the-art models locally, they don't depend on anyone's cloud infrastructure or pricing. That's seismic. Open-source AI models are no longer niche. They are enterprise-grade infrastructure. Companies with real requirements can build on Ollama instead of renting from cloud providers. That's disruptive to the entire cloud AI economy. The second implication is accessibility. If you're in a country with limited internet, work in an industry with strict data regulations, or bootstrap a startup on a budget, Ollama gives you superpowers. You've got the same AI capabilities as someone with $1 million cloud budget, minus the monthly bill. But here's the wrinkle: this could accelerate a two-tier world. Big companies keep using OpenAI and Anthropic for cutting-edge models. Everyone else runs yesterday's models locally. The gap might actually widen. Venture capital believes in this future. Developers already live in it. What remains to be seen is whether big tech adapts or doubles down on cloud-only strategy and loses share. The next year of AI is about to get really interesting. If you're curious about Ollama, here's how to get started. It's surprisingly straightforward. Download Ollama from Ollama. AI. Installation takes minutes on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Once installed, open a terminal and you're ready. The basic command is Ollama run followed by the model name. Want to try Llama 2? Type Ollama run Llama 2 and hit enter. Ollama downloads the model automatically. Takes a few minutes because these are multi-gigabyte files. But it only happens once. After that, the model stays on your machine. Once downloaded, you type your prompt in the terminal. Ask Llama a question and it processes locally. No API calls, no internet round trips. Just your machine thinking through your request. It's surprisingly fast with reasonable hardware. A modern laptop with 8 gigs of RAM works fine. For best performance, 16 gigs and a decent GPU are ideal. But Ollama runs on modest machines too. You can swap models by running different commands. Llama 2, Mistral, Neural Chat, each downloads once, then runs locally. From there, the possibilities expand. You can integrate Ollama into your own applications via its API endpoint. Build chatbots, writing assistants, content tools, anything you'd normally use cloud AI for, but running entirely on your hardware. That's where Ollama's real power lies. You're no longer renting compute, you're owning it. And for a growing number of developers, that's a game changer that's worth celebrating. So what's the takeaway? Ollama raised $65 million and hit 9 million users. That's not just a startup win, it's a watershed moment for AI. The open source AI movement is no longer fringe, it's mainstream. Developers no longer depend on big tech pricing, privacy policies, or update schedules. They can own their AI tools, run them locally, iterate rapidly, build amazing things, zero per request fees. Cloud AI isn't disappearing. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google still ship cutting edge. But Ollama proves there's a massive market for solid AI on your machine that doesn't require a credit card. The real story is democratization. If you're a developer in a country with poor internet, bootstrapping a startup, or work in an industry where privacy is critical, Ollama gives you superpowers. That's genuinely transformative. Here's what to watch next. The next 12 months determine if this is sustainable or temporary. If Ollama keeps shipping, models keep improving, and the community keeps growing, we're seeing fundamental industry reshaping. Local-first AI is becoming the norm, not the exception. That's the headline. 9 million developers already understand it. And now they've got $65 million in funding to prove they're right. Follow for daily AI news covering the stories that matter.